The universe has a peculiar way of connecting souls when they least expect it. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness can change the entire trajectory of our lives. If you've ever wondered whether good deeds truly get rewarded, this story might just restore your faith in humanity. Before we dive in, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories that remind us of the beauty in human connection. Jack Morgan wiped the sweat from his brow as he balanced grocery bags in one arm and held his 7-year-old son Ethan's hand with the other. The summer heat was unforgiving, beating down on the crowded farmers' market where they'd spent their Saturday morning. Being a single dad for the past 3 years had taught Jack to be efficient with their weekend errands, grocery shopping, followed by a quick lunch, then maybe the park if time allowed before heading home to prepare for the week ahead. "Dad, can we get ice cream?" Ethan tugged at his hand, pointing toward a colorful stand at the far end of the market. Jack checked his watch and sighed. "Maybe on our way out, buddy. Let's finish getting the vegetables first." That's when he noticed her, a small figure standing alone near the tomato stand, her eyes wide with panic, tears streaming down her cheeks. She couldn't have been more than 5 or 6 years old, wearing a yellow sundress with tiny butterflies embroidered along the hem. Something in Jack's chest tightened. He recognized that look of fear all too well. He'd seen it on Ethan's face the time they got separated at the mall. "Hold on, Ethan," Jack said, guiding his son toward the little girl. "Hey there," he said gently, crouching down to her eye level. "Are you okay?" The girl shook her head, her dark curls bouncing. "I can't find my mommy," she whispered, her voice trembling. "We'll help you find her," Jack said without hesitation. "I'm Jack, and this is my son Ethan. What's your name?" "Lily," she managed between sniffles. "Nice to meet you, Lily. Can you tell me what your mom looks like?" Lily wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "She has hair like mine but longer. And she's wearing a blue shirt." Jack nodded, though he knew this description could match dozens of women at the busy market. "Do you remember where you last saw her?" "By the flowers," Lily pointed vaguely toward the other end of the market. "Ethan, would you be my special helper?" Jack asked his son, who nodded eagerly. "Let's all stick together and find Lily's mom." The three of them moved through the crowded market, Jack holding both children's hands tightly. He approached a security guard, explaining the situation, but decided to keep searching rather than wait at the security booth. Lily seemed too distressed to stand still. "My mom calls me Little Bird," Lily offered suddenly as they walked. "Because I'm always singing." Jack smiled down at her. "That's a beautiful nickname. Does she have a special name for her?" "Mommy," Lily said simply, then added, "but other people call her Miss Chen." They continued their search, checking every flower stand in the market. Jack bought both children small bottles of water, and Ethan shared his animal crackers with Lily, who had stopped crying but still looked around anxiously. "My dad's really good at finding things," Ethan told Lily confidently. "One time I lost Mr. Whiskers, that's my stuffed cat, and Dad found him even though he was stuck behind the washing machine." Lily gave him a small smile. "Really?" "Really," Ethan confirmed. "And people are way bigger than stuffed cats, so finding your mom will be easy." Jack felt a surge of pride at his son's kindness. Despite the circumstances, he was grateful for the opportunity to show Ethan the importance of helping others. After nearly 45 minutes of searching, they heard a frantic voice calling out, "Lily! Lily!" A woman in a blue blouse was moving quickly through the crowd, her face etched with worry. "Mommy!" Lily's entire face lit up as she spotted the woman. She would have run off immediately if Jack hadn't been holding her hand. "Let's go together," Jack said gently, guiding both children toward the woman. The moment the woman saw Lily, she rushed forward and dropped to her knees, enveloping her daughter in a tight embrace. "Oh my God, Lily, I was so worried," she said, her voice breaking. "I turned around for just a second to pay for the flowers, and when I looked back, you were gone." "I'm sorry, Mommy," Lily said, burying her face in her mother's shoulder. "I saw a puppy and I wanted to pet it." The woman looked up at Jack, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "I can't even begin to." "No need to thank me," Jack interrupted with a gentle smile. "I'm just glad we found you. I'm Jack, and this is my son Ethan." "I'm Mei Chen," she replied, standing up while keeping Lily close to her side. "You have no idea what this means to me. How long have you been looking for me?" "Not long," Jack said, though his watch told him they'd spent nearly an hour of their precious weekend time on the search. "Ethan and I were happy to help, weren't we, buddy?" Ethan nodded. "Lily shared my animal crackers." Mei smiled at Ethan, then looked back at Jack. "Please, let me thank you properly. Can I buy you both lunch? Or at least an ice cream?" Jack was about to politely decline when Ethan's eyes lit up at the mention of ice cream. "Well, I did promise this guy some ice cream," he said, ruffling his son's hair. "We'd be happy to join you." They found a small ice cream stand with a few tables nearby. As the children happily devoured their treats, Jack and Mei made small talk. He learned she was new to the area, having moved from San Francisco just a month ago. "It's been an adjustment," Mei admitted. "I travel a lot for work, and finding a balance has been challenging." "I understand that," Jack said. "I've been raising Ethan on my own for 3 years now. His mom." He paused, still finding it difficult to say the words aloud. "She passed away from cancer." Mei's expression softened. "I'm so sorry, Jack. That must be incredibly difficult." "We take it day by day," he said, watching as Ethan showed Lily how to catch the drips from her ice cream cone. "What about Lily's father? If you don't mind me asking." "He's not in the picture," Mei said simply. "It's been just Lily and me since she was born." There was something about Mei that intrigued Jack. Despite her obvious distress earlier, she carried herself with a quiet confidence. She was attentive to Lily but not hovering, and she asked thoughtful questions about Jack's life and work as an architectural draftsman at a small local firm. What Jack didn't know, couldn't have known, was that Mei Chen wasn't just any single mother. The simple blue blouse and jeans she wore that day at the market concealed the identity of one of the most successful tech entrepreneurs in the country. Mei had deliberately chosen to live below her means in many aspects of her life, wanting to give Lily as normal a childhood as possible despite the family's extraordinary wealth. As they finished their ice cream, Mei checked her watch. "I hate to cut this short, but we have a prior engagement," she said apologetically. "But I'd love to properly thank you for your help today. Would you and Ethan like to come to Lily's birthday party next weekend? It's just a small gathering at our home." Jack hesitated. They were practically strangers, after all. But Ethan and Lily were already chatting like old friends, and there was something about Mei's genuine smile that made him nod. "We'd like that," he said. "Thank you for the invitation." Mei took out her phone. "Let me get your number, and I'll text you the details." They exchanged contact information, and Jack and Ethan said goodbye to Mei and Lily, continuing with their errands for the day. As they walked away, Jack couldn't help but glance back, catching Mei's eye one last time before she disappeared into the crowd. "I like Lily," Ethan declared as they headed to their car. "She's nice." "She is," Jack agreed, his mind still on Mei's warm smile and the way her eyes crinkled at the corners when she laughed. Later that evening, after Ethan was tucked into bed, Jack received a text message from Mei with the address and time for Lily's birthday party. He was surprised to see it was in Hillcrest Heights, one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the city. He wondered briefly if she worked as a nanny or housekeeper there, given her modest appearance at the market. The week passed quickly, filled with work deadlines and Ethan's summer day camp. Before Jack knew it, Saturday had arrived, and he was helping Ethan wrap the gift they'd chosen for Lily, a children's book about birds, inspired by her nickname. As they drove through the gates of Hillcrest Heights, Jack felt increasingly out of place in his modest sedan. The houses, or rather, estates, grew larger and more impressive with each turn. When they finally reached the address May had provided, Jack stared in disbelief at the modern glass and stone mansion before them. "Whoa," Ethan breathed from the back seat. "Lily lives in a castle." Jack checked the address again, certain there must be some mistake. But as they approached the gate, a security guard stepped forward. "Name, please?" "Jack Morgan and Ethan Morgan. We're here for Lily's birthday party." The guard checked his tablet and nodded. "Yes, Mr. Morgan. Ms. Chen is expecting you. Please follow the driveway to the main entrance." As they drove up the winding driveway, Jack's mind raced. Who exactly was May Chen? The house alone must be worth millions. He suddenly felt self-conscious about the simple gift they'd brought and his casual button-down shirt and jeans. They parked among a row of luxury vehicles and approached the front door. Before they could ring the bell, the door swung open, and Lily bounded out, wearing a party dress with a small tiara. "You came," she exclaimed, grabbing Ethan's hand. "Come see my treehouse. It has real electricity and a slide." Ethan looked at his father questioningly. Jack nodded, and the two children ran off around the side of the house, leaving Jack standing awkwardly at the entrance. "Jack," May's voice called from inside. She appeared in the doorway, looking elegant yet approachable in a simple sundress. "I'm so glad you could make it. Please, come in." Jack stepped inside, taking in the soaring ceilings and minimalist decor. "Your home is impressive," he managed. May smiled, a hint of embarrassment crossing her features. "It's a bit much, isn't it? I tried to talk my business partners out of this neighborhood, but they insisted on security considerations." She gestured for him to follow her through the house. "The party is in the backyard. It's just a few of Lily's friends from her old school in San Francisco and some new neighbors." As they walked through the house, Jack noticed the lack of staff or catering teams one might expect at such a venue. Instead, there were simple decorations, clearly put up by May herself, and a homemade birthday cake on the kitchen counter. "I should probably explain," May said as they reached the back patio, where a handful of children were playing while their parents chatted nearby. "I'm not who you probably thought I was at the market." "I'm getting that impression," Jack said with a nervous laugh. "I'm the co-founder and CEO of Horizon Technologies," she said simply. Jack's eyes widened. Even he, with his limited interest in the tech world, knew Horizon Technologies. The company had revolutionized renewable energy storage systems and was valued at billions. Wow, he stammered. "I had no idea." "I prefer it that way," May said. "When Lily and I are out together, I try to just be her mom, not May Chen, tech billionaire. It gives us both a bit of normalcy." She looked out at the children playing. "That's why what you did means so much to me. You didn't help Lily because of who I am or what I have. You helped her because she needed help." Jack followed her gaze to where Ethan and Lily were now climbing on a playground structure that would put most public parks to shame. Anyone would have done the same. "No," May said firmly. "They wouldn't. Do you know how many people walked past her while she was crying? Dozens. But you stopped. You took time out of your day to help a stranger." Before Jack could respond, they were interrupted by another guest, and May was pulled away to handle hostess duties. The party continued, and Jack found himself enjoying conversations with the other parents, many of whom were surprisingly down-to-earth despite their obvious wealth. As the afternoon wore on, Jack observed May with growing admiration. Despite her status, she served the cake herself, made sure each child felt special, and even joined in a game of tag that left her laughing and breathless. There was no entourage, no assistant handling the details, just a mother who wanted to give her daughter a happy birthday. When it was time to leave, Ethan was reluctant to say goodbye to his new friend. "Can Lily come to our house sometime?" he asked as they gathered their things. Jack glanced at May, who had overheard the question. "That would be lovely," she said. "Perhaps next weekend?" And so began a friendship between the two families that defied their different circumstances. Lily and Ethan became inseparable, with playdates alternating between Jack's modest three-bedroom home and May's mansion. Jack was initially self-conscious about hosting May in his simple home, but she seemed more relaxed there than in her own grand residence, kicking off her shoes and helping him cook dinner in his small kitchen. Over the weeks that followed, Jack learned more about May's journey, how she'd started Horizon Technologies in her garage with her college roommate, their breakthrough in energy storage technology, and the whirlwind success that followed. He learned that she'd had Lily on her own through IVF, determined to be a mother despite her demanding career. In turn, May came to understand the depth of Jack's loss when his wife died, leaving him to raise their son alone while working full-time. She admired his resilience, his devotion to Ethan, and his talent for design, which he showed her through sketches of buildings he dreamed of creating someday. 3 months after their chance meeting at the farmer's market, Jack received an unexpected call from May. "I have a proposition for you," she said without preamble. "Horizon is breaking ground on a new campus next month, and I'm not happy with the current designs. They lack humanity. Would you be interested in consulting on the project? I've seen your sketches, Jack. You have a vision that our current architects are missing." Jack was stunned. "May, I'm flattered, but I'm just a draftsman. I don't have the credentials to—" "I'm not interested in credentials," May interrupted. "I'm interested in talent and perspective. Just think about it, okay?" He did think about it, for all of 24 hours before accepting her offer. What began as a consulting position quickly evolved into a full-time role as Jack's innovative designs caught the attention of Horizon's board. Within 6 months, he was heading the design team for the entire campus project. For Jack, the opportunity was life-changing. Not just professionally, but personally as well. As he and May worked closely together, their friendship deepened into something more. Their first kiss happened late one night over blueprints spread across her dining room table, after the children had gone to sleep during a sleepover. "I've wanted to do that since the day you bought me ice cream," May confessed afterward, her fingers intertwined with his. "Even though I had no idea who you were?" Jack teased. "Especially because you had no idea who I was," she replied softly. Their relationship progressed naturally, two single parents finding in each other not just romance but partnership. Ethan and Lily were delighted by the development, already considering themselves siblings in all but name. A year after their first meeting at the farmer's market, Jack and May returned there with the children. As they strolled past the tomato stand where he'd first found Lily crying, Jack squeezed May's hand. "Do you believe in fate?" he asked her. May considered the question. "I believe in kindness creating opportunities that might otherwise never exist," she said finally. "If you hadn't stopped to help Lily that day. If you hadn't invited us for ice cream. If you hadn't accepted my invitation to the birthday party." Jack smiled. A series of small choices that changed everything. That evening, after the children